Yo, what's up, Bryce? How's it going, dude? Welcome to the stream, as well as welcome anyone else that's going to watch in the future. So today, as you saw by the title and the thumbnail, we're going to do I'm doing good. So we're going to do a suspension torture test. And I put in the description, based on these results, this does not relate to anything in real life. This is just a video game. So the suspension doesn't react like a real suspension would in real life. So this is just pure fun, just to have some fun, to see what would be the best option in a video game, not in real life. But anyways, this is what I wanted to do today. I just figured we'd do something fun, kind of switch the tone of things. I know we've been doing a lot of Ultra 4 stuff. Speaking of Ultra 4, get this out of the way real quick. The Ultra 4 Spring Series has been announced. February 26th, which is next Wednesday, is the first race, and it'll be at Johnson Valley. The next race is on March 5th. I will not be at the March 5th race. I have to go out of town for my actual job. Not gonna say what I'm doing. It's not gonna pertain to anything on this channel. But anyways, just won't be there. And then all the other dates after that, I'll put up a post on YouTube about it. I have the screenshot and everything for it, so we'll mess with that later. But anyways, we're gonna get to this test. So going from left to right on the screen, the Blue Ranger is leaf spring all the way through. So it has leaf springs front and rear. Excuse me, I'm eating food too. Sorry. So it's a fully leaf sprung car. And it's got Yokohama Geolanders on it, 35-inch tires. Every truck has the same platform. This is the Ford Ranger from Nick's on BeamWheeler. It's a Patreon mod. But every truck has a straight 6 turbo, and it's actually a redneck turbo. It's not a real turbo. But every truck has the same turbo, or the same power plant, sorry. But the suspension is different. So this one has 35-inch Yokohama Geolander MTs. Most of them all have a racing fuel cell, a jack, and a spare tire. And then a full roll cage and racing seats. So it's pretty basic, nothing too serious, nothing built like crazy, nothing has 40-inch tires. Then you have this one. This one's the independent front suspension. It's got King off-road coilovers in the front. 35-inch Yokohama. I think these are... Well, what are these ones? No, these are Falcons. Sorry, these are Falcon Wild Peak MTs. These are the Yokohama Geolander MTs. So this one has independent in the front and then leaf spring in the rear. Same thing, full cage, race fuel tank, tire, spare jack. Then the next one is 3-link in the front with coilovers and then leaf springs in the rear, cage and everything. And then the last one is basically the best you can get if you wanted to build something within this range. 35-inch Nitto trail grapplers. It's got 3-link in the front and 3-link in the rear. Bilstein coilover, shocks, spare tire jack, fuel cell. It's got a bed cage instead of just a regular bed because you're running coilovers. So you want more travel. So you want to shed that weight. But yeah, so we'll see how they do. And also, I'm gonna try and do the hot lapping. I don't know if it's gonna work, but I'll try to do the hot lapping and then we can time all these. But I'm gonna run the 2024 King of the Hammers qualifying course from last year, which is where you go down back door. So it's gonna be a lot more challenging. You can't just go crazy fast through there because you're climbing. You have to like really evaluate what you're doing because you're going down. You have to go to BeamWheeler You have to go to the Discord and get it from his Discord. He posts all the mods on Discord because people were leaking everything off of Patreon. We are going to lower the music down on stream and turn up the game volume so y'all can hear this gutless Ford Ranger. I will not be surprised if I bottom out the suspension on this turd. Well, one of the rules is don't. Yeah, that's one of their rules on BeamWheeler. It's pretty funny. I forgot to mention, one of the rules I want to set is we're going to count how many suspension types have, like how many resets each suspension type has. Because I know all of them are going to have a different amount. Well, you have to join the Patreon. You have to pay for the Patreon, and then it should be on Nick's Patreon. There should be a label for it. You have to make sure your Discord is connected to your Patreon. Node grab it for that. Unlike that. That was a bit. Okay, so through the desert, we already have a bottomed out leaf spring on the rear left, body damage, the front axle shifted back, we've got some alignment issues, and yeah, so we've pretty much beat the shit out of this thing. We'll see how it does in the rocks now. Especially with a bottomed out spring. There goes the bumper. It's crazy how much of a difference like suspension configurations can really make a difference on a vehicle. It's not happy right now. If I can go through the entire course without having a single reset on every vehicle, that'd be awesome. But with configurations changing, I'm going to want to rag on them a lot harder because I know they can handle it, so I'll probably have resets. Exhaust is damaged. Damage the exhaust and it somehow sounds cooler now. Is not liking that bottom mount suspension. Alright. Damage evaluation of the full leaf spring suspension on the car. Severe body damage. All the back glass is broken. The rear suspension is completely clapped out. The exhaust is damaged. The hood is completely totaled. The front left quarter panel is ripped off. Marker lights are blown out. LED lights blown out on the front. Front suspension is cooked. Knuckles are bent on the axle. Yeah. It didn't handle where it. Oh, bumper's hanging off. Yeah, ripped that off in the first section of the rocks going through back door. Yeah, leaf springs are. I have to say, leaf springs are probably not your best option. Okay. Let's see what the independent front suspension can do. See how this goes. Notice this is not working. So this one is going to be the independent front suspension with the leaf springs in the rear. So like your kind of like your home built pre-runner. Only this doesn't have long travel leaves on it. gonna be a reset. Yeah. I have 1,325 hours on BeamNG.drive. I have a lot of seat time and Ultra 4 stuff, so pretty good at it. Had a little 2-3 shift backfire. Oh, fuck. Yep, that was a bad one. Another reset. Okay, so through the desert, the IFS in the front and the leaf in the rear did worse than the leaf spring because there's 2 resets. Usually, if I'm going to do a reset, it's because there's a significant amount of damage that's going to enable the car not to continue forward on the course. So yeah, so 2 resets, hell of a lot worse than the all leaf spring car so far. We're gonna see how it does in the rocks, and if we have to reset in there, then it's really bad. But as far as like just getting after it in the desert, the leaf spring beats, or the IFS beats that leaf spring performance by a long shot, because the speed is really incredible. I was able to keep a really good speed through the desert, but with that speed came excessive damage because, I freaking crashed the shit out of it because I forget where stuff is, or I'll tell myself, okay, it's right here, when it's actually 10 or 15 feet ahead of me, and then I hit it anyways. Alright, let's see how it does in the rock. goes the bumper. Roll it in the same spot. Okay, damage report on the Ranger. The second Ranger, the IFS. Major alignment issues. That's the problem with IFS. The turning radius is really shitty in them. And, you know, if you don't, it sounds kind of stupid, but if you don't turn ahead of your turn, you're going to hit something. Example given, we hit the right hand side, steering wheel's straight. That tire on the right hand side is not straight at all. Same thing with the left tire. They're not straight. So major alignment issues on independent front suspension. As far as desert performance, it does really well. It like actually hauls ass because you're not having to turn these giant axle shafts into axle housing to get anywhere. So yeah, as far as desert performance, it does well. It does go, I will say I will place it under the leaf spring truck because it did have 2 resets. Partially it was because of my shit driving, or more or less my shit judgment, and I should know that there's a nasty spot in there and I just completely forgot about it. So that's on me. But as far as resets go, it does go underneath the leaf spring the leaf sprung Ford Ranger, if I could talk, because it had 2 resets. So as of right now, which is not gonna last long, but as of right now, the leaf spring truck is on top, and the IFS truck is underneath in second place. So the third truck, like I said before, 3-link suspension in the front with coilovers, leaf springs in the rear with air shocks. So let's see how this one does. truck's still rolling though, so we're gonna keep going. Okay, major problems on the front axle with the 3-link in the front. As you can see, the front right is a little bit further back than it's supposed to be. Definitely not supposed to be right there. Yeah, pretty bad. Then I rolled it, but it flipped back on its side. So as far as damage report, this is worse than the IFS. As far as desert performance, the IFS still wins. But yeah, let's see how it does in the rocks with all this damage. Still turning somewhat good. Articulation doesn't even exist. Going down back door might honestly finish off this front axle. then we rolled it because the front axle shifted too far forward. And we lost our high lift jack. Oh no. So the engine is damaged now. That's not good. This is really bad. Okay. I'm gonna have to take a reset. Alright, so there's nothing really to look for on damage because we took a reset before we came back into Hammertown. But I will say, performance-wise, very poor. Not good at all. Absolute trash. Most places I've seen, like a long arm kit in the front and a leaf spring kit in the rear. Most of the time that's a rock crawling application. That's not really a desert application or a high speed application. So I'm not surprised it did horrible, because it really did. It did absolutely horrendous. So as far as damage, it did get less resets. It did get less resets in the Ranger, so that's a plus. Or than the Ranger. They're all Rangers. It got less resets than the independent front suspension Ranger. So as far as resets, it is first place for, or second place for resets. That knocks the independent front suspension Ranger down to third place as far as resets. Damage, it's going to be third place for damage. This thing took a ton of damage and did absolutely horrible. Desert, it's last place in the desert. Did really bad. Rocks, I don't even know where to place it in the rock section. The Leaf Spring truck did incredible in the rocks, even though it was heavily damaged. It did really well, so I'd have to put that first place for rocks right now. That could change. I guess 3-link in the front and Leaf in the rear would take probably last place because it had so much damage and it kind of had a hard. Well, yeah, it would be last place because it rolled over on back door. So it's, yeah, and the IFS Ranger takes second place in the rocks. So let's go to the last Ranger, which is a little bit more purpose built for, you know, King of the Hammers type terrain. Big gnarly rock trails, huge desert sections. Let's see how this one does. shoot, I didn't. I'm excited. I like this one. So as far as desert, I did really good. Can't go very fast. It's solid axle. Most people know that solid axle doesn't do very well in the desert. But very little damage. Almost no damage at all, actually. Pretty much ran smoothly through the whole desert, which I'm not surprised. It's a car that's purpose built for this kind of terrain. It is meant to go this fast and stuff. So let's see how it does in the rocks. Got some slight alignment issues. Well, that's a problem. Alright, so as far as desert for this one, horrible. Can't go fast at all. Rock section did great except for the end. I smacked a rock and it caused a pretty bad tie rod bend. And it bent the tie rod really hard and made it to where it wanted to steer left. It was pulling to the left really hard. And then of course lost it in the short course because of that misalignment and rolled it and broke the left rear or right rear wheel completely off the axle. So as far as short course and desert, the truck did really bad. Rocks, it did incredible, as I would expect, because it is 3-link front and rear, so it's specifically designed for rock crawling. So I guess let's go down the list. So the Leaf Sprung Ranger had no resets, had some pretty significant damage, did really bad in the desert, but did really good in the rocks. Despite the damage that it does have, besides the damage that it had when it went into the rock section, it did incredible. So the rock, I'd say the Ranger, as far as rock performance, was 10 out of 10. Damage, I'd say maybe a 7 out of 10. Desert, probably a 5 out of 10. Let's see. I want to write all this down. Okay, so the Leaf Spring Ranger, let's see, 10 is 20, 27 plus 5. So the Leaf Spring Ranger has a total of 32 points. Okay, the next one was the IFS Ranger. Desert was 10 out of 10. Alright, hold on. I'm doing it backwards. I'm rating this stuff off the list. Let's see. Rocks was an 8 out of 10. Damage, I'm gonna go. Let's see, let's tab over to it. Damage, I'll go 8 out of 10 as well. Desert was a 10 out of 10, honestly. And short course was also a 10 out of 10. So the Ranger has 36 points. Next was the 3-link on the front. 3-link on the front. Rocks was a 4 out of 10. Damage was a a 1 out of 10, 100%. Desert was a 3 out of 10. And short course was like 5 out of 10, I think. No, it was worse than that. If I remember right, I think I screwed it up big time in the short course. Yeah, I did, because I rolled the shit out of it in the short course. Coming back into the short course, yeah, so it's like a 3 out of 10. So the 3 link on the front and the leaf springs in the rear on that Ranger. So 4 is 5, 5 and 3 is 8 and 3. The 3 link on the front has 11 points. It did absolutely terrible. See the 3 link Ranger, which is this beautiful beast. As far as the rocks, I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. The damage, I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. Because we did lose the wheel in the short course. The desert is a 5 out of 10. It did absolutely horrible in the desert. And the short course was a 6 out of 10. So let's see, the three link Ranger has, let's see, 9 and 6 is 15, plus 5 is 26 points. So the Ranger that has inevitably won the suspension torture test of BeamNG, not real life statistics, but as far as suspension torture test on a video game, the IFS Ranger and BeamNG, which this is also across the Ford Ranger. This isn't across any other vehicle. I'm just doing this for fun. I just thought it'd be a fun idea. But yeah, the IFS won with 36 points. And then, believe it or not, the Leaf Sprung Ranger came in second, I believe. Yeah, the Leaf Sprung Ranger is at 32 points. And then this turd came in last, and the 3 link came in 3rd place. So your top 3 is Leaf Sprung, IFS, and then 3 link. And then of course last place is the 3 link in the front with the leaf springs in the rear, which I kind of expected because that's more of a rock crawling application, like I said before. But I just thought this would be kind of a fun little video or stream to do. Just kind of mess around with some different suspension types and see how they do. And shockingly, I thought the 3 link was going to do well, but the 3 link actually did really bad. So I'd say the IFS is still king of the desert. Even in real life, in King of the Hammer status, IFS is still #1. So, hope you guys enjoyed watching the stream, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Hope you guys have a great rest of your night. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment if you enjoy the content you're seeing. If you have any ideas of what I could do next, you can leave a comment, let me know. Anyways, that's going to be it for stream tonight. We'll see you guys in the next one. Have a great night.